We have 2 kids to the McKinney-Vento program that we help. One was 16, one was 10. One now is 18 years old. Second year running start. Bought him a new car. Leased a new car, bought it. Has him an apartment. And that other boy that was 10, have you heard the words before, or maybe even said them to your kids or your family? Reach for the stars, they're yours to have. Dream big. Of course we have, at one time in our life. And with our children that we've raised, it's an achievement to watch them grow and bond with them. You know, we encourage them to look for what they want, ask for what they need. And we're there as parents. We live through them. We dust them off when they fall. We encourage them when they're down and depressed. And of course, we're there for money when they need it. Like my daughter here, you know, when she says, "I love you, Dad." It's funny how I always leave with an empty wallet. But it's our way of communicating. And as they grow up, our dreams and our aspirations is for them to have a family and have kids, go to college, and teach their kids like we taught our kids. But let me ask you, if tomorrow morning you woke up and your life was turned upside down, if you took and reached in your pocket for your car keys, but you had none, you had no car, you had no home, you had no family, you had nothing except your clothes on your back and the thoughts in your head. As adults, we'd be able to pick ourselves up, and we'd be able to achieve what we wanted again. Because as adults, we've learned lessons growing up that have helped us. But what if you're 15 years old, 16 years old, 18 years old, and you're one of them out on the streets, and you reach in your pockets for change, and there's no change there. And you know the only way you're going to eat tonight is by begging. You have nowhere to look for help. You have no one to ask. You don't even know who to ask if you did. And then, when you're going to sleep at night and you're looking up at them stars that somebody told you years ago, reach for them stars because they're yours, and you realize, how could you reach for a star when you can't even find something to eat? And they slowly lose their dream, and the dreams that they have of having a great life, and them dreams turn into wishes. I wish I had a new pair of shoes, or a used pair of new shoes. I wish I had something to eat. I wish my mom didn't cry so much at night. Or maybe I wish my parents weren't on drugs and I could go home and I could see my little brother. The courage it takes to walk out of a situation when you have a broken home is tremendous. You know, the strongest tie in the world that binds us is family. We all evolve around family, but when that bond is broken, when that trust is gone, and you're that kid out there on the street with a broken backpack, one of the straps is busted so you carry it in your hands, and you're walking down a road that has no direction. It's dark, you're alone, you're cold and you're wet. That's what happens to kids every day. In the Bethel School District, we have 651 children right now that are homeless. 187 of them are unsheltered, meaning the fact that when they go to bed at night, they're living in something that we don't even classify as livable. It might be a car without heat in it. It might just be a car or an old camper. But there's 187 just in the community of Bethel that are unsheltered tonight. When we go home tonight and go to bed, we have a warm place to sleep. And we have food at home. And that's because we worked hard our whole life and we learned as a child to work for it and to reach for the stars. But I'm talking about these kids that never had that chance or had that hope. Do you know, our federal government stepped in and they have a mandated program called McKinney-Vento. Let me tell you a little bit about it. The McKinney-Vento Program, the federal government gives each state $995,000 a year for this program, which that's a lot of money. I like to have it. That's for a year for each state. We have 48,000 children in our state right now going to school that are homeless. 48,000. I'm sure it'll be a lot more next year. You take $995,000, you divide it between 48,000 students and 365 days a year. It's $28 for the year. $28 we give that child for the year, or we give the school district for that child for the year. We spend $110,000 a year on somebody incarcerated. They have 3 meals and a warm bed. What happened to the value of our children? Why is it that we put no value in all on them, except for the $28 a year? I know I would never be able to live on it. Your children would never be able to survive on that. So, McKinney-Vento asked for help outside of the federal government. They ask your local churches, they ask our nonprofits, would you please help us? Without that help, the money has to come from somewhere. It comes from the general fund. It comes from the money that we spend for books, for athletics, for travels, for trips. It has to come from somewhere. Because the federal government just gave you $28 for that kid and they expect you to last all year on that. Other states is probably less than that. Because we only have 48,000 kids that are homeless. And every state gets the same amount of money. New York, wherever. California. So I guess we are kind of fortunate. The fact that we only have 48,000 homeless kids. That's the population of Redmond, Washington. That's just the children that we know about. There's things that can be done. There's things our government can do. There's things our city can do. But, you know, if I sit here and I waited for somebody else to pick up that quarter off the ground, it's not going to happen. And hand it to a kid. It won't happen. As fast as I'd like it to. When we started Course for Kids, it was to help kids. And we've worked hard to try to make it bigger as we go. And we've been offered the chance with the Bethel School District to have a holiday fundraiser on December 15th to raise money. All the money raised and raise awareness goes to the Bethel School District to help these kids. And now Tacoma has called us and asked us if we would do one there in January. And I got a call today from Puyallup. Said, I hear you're doing a fundraiser in Bethel and Tacoma. Would you come talk to us? Every town, every community is hurting. There's so many kids out there. And you won't see them on the side of the road with a sign that says, I'm homeless, help me. Because see, these kids are terrified of getting in trouble, of getting social services called on them. They hide in the backgrounds. You'll see them in the schools. You can tell which ones they are. They're the kids that's been wearing the same outfit for a week a lot of times. or they have a different smell than we do. But see, they go to school. It's not to get their grades up or study math. It's because they get breakfast in the morning and they get lunch. That's something they don't get to have when they're out walking up down that road in the dark with that backpack. They have to take their food. So they take and go through the bullying and the judgment and harassment so they can eat 5 days out of the week. But what happens when this Christmas comes? The school's out for 2 weeks and everybody's off on holidays. These kids, if you go into a school day before a holiday, they act out. You know who they are. They do not want to miss school because they do not want to go without eating. Even if they live with their mom or they live with their dad, the chances maybe are slim that they'll eat. That 9-year-old boy I met when I started Course for Kid that I watched take his pizza and wrap it in his napkin and the French fries and the applesauce and put it in his backpack for his little sister, is my hero. That kid thought more of his 3-year-old sister than he did himself. And I knew he was hungry, but he changed my life too. I didn't feel sorry for myself anymore. I didn't have the guilt I had of losing my leg. Because see, I could put this thing on and I could be as normal as I possibly can. And I could be out here with you. That 9-year-old boy, that 13-year-old boy, no matter what he puts on, it isn't going to change the fact that tonight when he goes to bed, he's most likely looking up at the roof of a car or the stars that he cannot reach and touch. What happens when our kids quit dreaming? What would happen if yours? What would happen if you quit dreaming? You'd stop living. I know I would. I dream every day, not for success or cars. I dream every day that tomorrow when I wake up I can reach somebody else and I can touch someone else. Like today, I spent the day in Redmond, Washington, doing an hour speech at a Rotary Club to these people that are very influential and make a lot of money. Asking them, would you please help us? We're way down here in Bethel. They gave me almost $600 today in donations from that group for the Bethel School District and Course for Kids. People have been, they stop by my car, they see my car and they hit the website and they see Course for Kids. I have a lady, I have a jar in my thing. It's a bubblegum jar. She said, I'm sorry, it's more than I had, but it's all I have in my car. And I said, that's more than I had when I walked up here. Just the fact that you know who we are means so much to me. I didn't even count how much it was. It was a bunch of quarters and dollar bills. And she waited outside for 5 minutes for me to tell me thank you for what I'm doing. It's not just me that does this. There's so many people that are involved, so many people that volunteer their time and go out and talk in these schools to help these kids. Before I lost my leg, I had no concept, I had no idea. One, about compassion. I knew what the word meant, but I had none. I ran a company, I had a lot of employees. I was all about getting the most out of everybody. And then after losing my leg and meeting this child and changing my life and joining Toastmasters and becoming a Toastmaster and being able to go out now and speak in front of 50 people at a Rotary Club and get their attention and ask how we can help. This changed my life. And it changes each one of these kids. That $500 goes a long ways towards shoes and socks and coats or Christmas gifts for 10 kids, 20 kids. That comes Christmas Day, wishes they could dream about Santa Claus. Or that's something that other people do, not them. How about the kid that lives in a car and he goes to school and it's his birthday? He doesn't tell anybody because everybody wants to come over for a birthday party. And how do you invite him to come sit in your car at a Walmart parking lot? That kid just lost a dream. I lost a part of him because he's ashamed of how he lives, but he can't change it. So when he goes to school, he acts out or reaches out. Everybody wants to have a birthday party. As they grow up, they want to invite all their friends. But when you're homeless, you have nobody to invite and no place to have it. So Christmas is a bad time of the year for a lot of these kids. It's a hard time of the year. Winter alone is terrifying because a lot of these kids, like I said, only have what they have on their back or in their backpack. And I know they don't have 2 pair of extra shoes in that backpack and a coat and a blanket and a pillow. They probably have a few necessities that they have that they carry with them, or something that they brought from their homes so they can remember their family when they lay down at night. A cherished memento. But they don't have any dreams. And half of them, their wishes are fading. Because every time they wish for something, most of the time it never comes true. I mean, the girl that walks down the hall with these beautiful shoes and shows all of her friends, and they got flashy lights on it. And the little boy standing there by the water fountain, which I just saw, who has a pair of shoes on that is so dirty and black that he took a black magic marker and painted them black because he had nothing else. And a kid that took his shirt, the only one he had, and wore it Monday and Tuesday and on Wednesday, turned it inside out because it had a mustard stain, but he had nothing else to wear. That's stuff we take for granted. A washer and dryer. Driving to the Burger King drive-thru and smelling that great food. How about the 2 kids sitting over there in the car that would die for just some French fries? But it's not a necessity that their family can afford. It's not something that they'll probably get. I know I'm sitting here and telling you things that you already know, but there is something I'll tell you that a lot of you might not know, is the fact that there is a little button you can hit if you go to Chorus for Kids, and you can donate strictly to the school districts, to these kids, to help them. People here have donated before, and the money helped kids and others. We've donated every time that we've raised this last year, plus much more, trying to make a difference. And we have 2 kids to the McKinney-Vento Program that we helped. One was 16, one was 10. One now is 18 years old. 2nd year of running start. Bought him a new car. Leased a new car, bought it. Has him an apartment. And that other boy that was 10, that's his little brother. And he's 12 now, and he's raising him. Because his mom still thinks that crack cocaine is more important than kids. She still lives down the street in the Walmart parking lot in a convertible Cavalier with a ripped roof. And his dad's in prison. But we gave him a chance, and he's made a difference, and now that boy helps the other kids. That's what Course for Kids is all about, teaching kids to help other kids. So when I ask you about your change will change a kid's life. At 75 cents a day for a year and $20 a month for a year, we can reopen both boys and girls home in the Bethel School District and keep them open with 200 people donating for 2 years. That's 10 kids per house. They get a chance to graduate this year or next year. And that is our commitment to the school district and to our community, is to do the best we can to make a difference in these kids' lives. One kid at a time. And then that kid helping another kid. So my call to action is for you. Donate. Share this Christmas, this Hanukkah, with kids that you'll never meet. But when you go to bed at night, you know you've done a little bit, made a difference. You can sleep a little bit better.